Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Mikey Bustos here, bringing you another video. For this vlog, I wanted to talk about what it would be like in 100 years from now. Now, if you were to go back 100 years, like back in time, like to 1911, and told them, in 100 years, the world will be completely different from it is now. There's going to be giant metallic, you know, things that'll carry hundreds of people in the air and, fly all the way across the world. And there will be, thousands of these planes flying in the air, and just, it'll be a common mode of transportation. And we'll invent things like computers where you can just pretty much send information quickly anywhere in the world. Telephone, eventually it'll be wireless, so you'll have this device. You'll tell them that they can turn on a knob and there'll be like television, hundreds of channels. How would you even explain channels? How do you explain the internet? It's just, people will be like, you're crazy. Just the amount of technology and how life has really progressed and evolved, along with everything, the technology that we've been developing through time. It's amazing, really. We kind of take it all for granted right now, because I mean, I'm doing a vlog, for example, and it's recording onto a laptop, which is a computer, and then eventually I'm gonna upload it so the whole world can see it. Like that. Do you see like how amazing that technology is? And it's just 100 years. If you were to tell them, what life is like today, how you can stick food into a microwave, doot, 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 and it's heated. You don't gotta stick it into a furnace. And just tons of stuff, right? So now, thinking about that, I bet nobody could have conceptualized in that time what life would be like. Now, in that context, keeping that in mind, can you imagine what 100 years from now might be like? It's really amazing how quickly things develop, especially now. In 2003, people were still using VHS. Obsolete now. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing when you kind of think about where we're headed technologically, and what science is revealing now. Wow, speaking of what science is revealing now, this is something I wanted to include in this vlog. Some of the stuff we are kind of, playing with in the laboratory now, are amazing. Apparently, a university in the United States was able to teleport a mass of calcium ions. Think about that for a sec. Teleport, as in like, beam me up, Scotty, like doom, like no distance traveled between the two like spots. And apparently the distance between the two locations was arbitrary. It can be like anywhere in the world. They were just able to beam it. Calcium ions, not the whole percent of the mass, but just like parts of it. And that's still amazing though. How is it done? You know what? It was explained in a text, and I tried my hardest to understand it. It had something to do with the atoms matching something like electrons, and something like that. I have to read it again. But yeah, beam, like zoom. Now, could you imagine if we could perfect that technology and use that? Can you imagine if we could harness that teleportation of like atoms across any distance, like an instant travel? Not even travel, it's like like instant, instantaneous. There's no travel. Can you imagine what computers would be like if they could harness that? There would be no downloading time. No, no, no. No downloading time. It would just be instant, like beaming of information to your laptop, wireless, you know. Um, Telephones, like cell phones. Could you imagine if cell phones uh, harnessed that technology of just like beaming instantaneous? You could be talking in real time, no delay. You know what I mean? And perfectly clear. There would be no lost, frequencies there. Just it's amazing when you think about what uh, is in the horizon for us technologically. It's just that one little thing, the teleportation thing. Can you imagine if they somehow perfect teleportation of like large objects like humans? It's like, I feel like going to Mexico today. Doot, 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 doot. You just walk through like some portal and you're in Mexico. So yeah. Other things people are starting to experiment with are psychic connections. Now, for those, this is starting to go into like quantum science now, but scientists are actually studying it. For those of you who are twins out there, if you're a twin or whatever, um, it's already old knowledge that you guys somehow can tell when the other is in trouble or in distress, or you know what I mean? Like there's a connection there. You can somehow tell. And it's long been uh, accepted now, um, you know, in light of so much research, that people who are emotionally bonded, whether it be twins, like siblings, or best friends, or husband and wife, or parent and child, or, like boyfriend, girlfriend, when you guys just feel each other, um, apparently anyone with an emotional bond is can affect the other. So I think that it was experiments with electricity, like electric shocks on one caused a physiological response in another, no matter how far away they were. Like they could have been like, in a different country and they would still see physiological reactions in the one that was not receiving the electrical shocks. And this is the kind of stuff we're studying now. Can you imagine if we can further understand that sort of like mental telepathy? We call it psychic now because, and that term itself kind of sounds a little, ooh, right? But can you imagine when that becomes, I guess, an actual real science um, term, right? And we start to really understand it and apply it. Can you imagine? Just so going back to 100 years now, imagine what life will be like in 100 years. What if someone were to come back from the past and be like, okay, in 100 years, people will be able to teleport anywhere in the universe. We'll be living on 200 planets, uh, and the number of planets is expanding. The human race will be, however, Google number of humans, and uh, we will have met several extraterrestrial civilizations, and we've blended with them. We've even interbred with them. you know, um, Information is like we have new technology now where you can be completely healed out of of everything, any disease you have. Um, we have technology in 100 years that will allow people to live 5 times longer, right? That'll allow people to exchange bodies. You know, in 100 years, there'll be procedures where you can hop into your mother's head and she can hop into your head for as long as you guys want. Can you imagine that? Instant communication across the cosmos with no delay. And like I'm just coming up with random stuff now, but you know, just it's amazing. So, anyways, that was my randomness for today. Try to imagine what it would be like in 100 years. It's just incredible, mind-boggling. Thanks, guys, for listening to my jargon, and please subscribe to our videos. Thanks.